Hello, I'm Chris Bouweraert, co-founder of the chouffe brewery in Belgium. I promised to someone to do a message in English. You will understand. It's a strange English, it's my English. It's Bouweraertian English, but you will understand it, I'm sure. So my story starts 6,666 years ago. At that time, the region of Barkfrituur, about 10-ish miles from here, was the highest point of Belgium. The Barkfrituur at those times was there was a forest of oak trees, very dark, impressive forest. And at Barkfrituur, that plateau, that forest, the name was the Cedrogne forest. There was also a spring with a very good quality water, and the name of the spring, you guess, it's Cedrogne Spring. So that's the situation there. One day, little red-headed men like this one came out of the forest. It was a very hot summer day, and they were thirsty. And these little men saw the spring, and they say, "Come, let's drink." So they drink water from the Cedrogne spring. And they were very surprised. They were able to talk when they drink water from the Cedrogne spring. In Flemish we say spraakwater, and in English you say speak water. But there it comes from. You drink that water, you can talk. Because these little gnomes they were very healthy, very good, but had one handicap: they can't talk. So they discover that they can talk when they drink water from the Cedrogne spring. So you can guess what they decided. They decided to stay around, so they can always drink on a regular basis water from the Cedrogne spring. They put some water in bottles so they can travel a little bit further. And this takes time. During 10-ish years, more than 10 years, 100 years, centuries, they drink only water. One day there was a very clever gnome saying, "No, always water. Let's try something with the water." And he mixed water with barley, with hops, let it there for a while. It was 30 degrees warm, so all that stuff started to ferment. So it was a spontaneous fermentation. But the end result, at the end, they make a wonderful beer. Very, very good beer. Probably the best beer ever. Not only on this planet, but also on the neighborhood. The Milky Way, the best beer of the Milky Way. Very good. So they start to brew the beer. They start to be very, very successful. Everyone wanted to drink that beer. In those times, the wheel was not invented yet, but the beer, it was the highest point of Belgium. Dus by rivers, the beer floated to the lower parts, regions, and we still have some places, Bierbeek in Dutch. You translate it in English, and the name become Beer Creek. So some places in Belgium still remember these times. So the brewery was very huge. Like I told you, the beer floated by river to the lower part of Belgium. And the daily production was, listen well, sales guys or sales managers, you can only dream of that number. It was a production of 6,666,666 hectoliter a day. Not in a year, a day. That's huge. That's a lot. Okay, things are going on. One day, something happened. Yes. A collapse, a big explosion under Barkfrituur in the cave. There was no caves anymore. The brewery was located in the cave, and it all collapsed. It was 30 meters lower and the highest point of Belgium is 10-ish miles further. Only one gnome survived, and he was protected by the super gnome. And the super gnome said, yes, you are still alive, but you have to stay alive. And you can join your family later the day you transfer the recipe of that beer to someone. So that little gnome started to wander around, wandering, during centuries, more than centuries. And one day in 1982, he saw two men who were building up a very small, tiny brewery, 100% self-made. Now it's easy if you want to start a brewery. You go to the shop around the corner and you can buy a brew equipment. But in those times, that was not done. So we have to build it together. We, who are there, the two people, the Flemish guy, that's me. I'm from the north of Belgium, where we speak Dutch. And in the south of Belgium, my partner was from the south of Belgium, Pierre Gobron, and he's a French-speaking Belgium. So we fixed that brewery together, slowly, and the gnome, little gnome, he saw us. We don't saw him, but he saw us. And he understands this too. I'm making a tiny brewery. So he keep an eye on it. And on 26th August 82, he saw that we are boiling water. Boiling water, why? Not to brew. We planned to brew on 27th, but on 26th, we had to clean everything very well. Remember what brewers are saying, brewery business, or the job of a brewer, is more to clean and wash things than to be creative. That's the funny part, to be creative. But the boring part is always to clean. And it's very important. If you don't work clean, you make rubbish, not good beer. Okay, on 27th, the night from 26th to 27th, little gnome, he decided to put a little package. He put it on the door of the brewery. And the next day, we arrived. We see the little package. We open it. The package contain oak leaf. And on the oak leaf, there was written a recipe. And also the horn of the oak leaf was empty, but he put a little bit yeast in the package. We were very surprised. We don't know who bring that package. But as we had no idea how to brew beer, we brewed that recipe. And okay, brew day one, you brew the beer, it ferment. That takes some time. To keep my story short, after 6 weeks, the big moment. We opened the first bottle of beer, brew it in a tiny, unknown hamlet in the Belgian Ardennes, in chouffe, 36 citizens, so it's very tiny, and it was unknown. Now chouffe a little bit more now, but at those times was unknown. We opened the bottle, and with a big bang, half of the content of the bottle floated out, as it was too much pressure. So you see, beer brewing is not that easy. And the other half, we put it in the glass, like here, in a very nice glass. And we tried, and it was really very good. At a certain moment, the door opened, and the little guy, that high, that is not much, that high, so he told me the story, told us the story, and his story. We were very surprised to see that little guy with the red hat. We are only two humans, I think, who have met and talked with a gnome. Believe it or not, I don't care, but we still have the wonderful recipe of that little gnome. So the little gnome told his story, and he said, yes, no, I'm at the end of what I have to do. Can I taste the beer, please? Can I try the beer? So we gave him the glass. He took the glass with the two hands, bring it on his mouth, and he disappeared. We have never seen the gnome again. But in memory of the gnomes, we put it on our labels, on our glasses, on everything you want. And the story continue thanks to the salespeople, consumers of chouffe, and so on. So thank you for listening. Next time you drink a chouffe, you can tell a very good story to your friends. And if they don't believe it, they will like the story. Okay? Allez, go for chouffe. Go for chouffe. Go for chouffe.